So give me a reason why they would be a top 4 or 5 team at the end of the year,
Well,
and some of the reasons they would not be, as constantly presented.
yeah, I mean, I just think defensively in a lot of seasons, if you're elite on defense, you're going to be in the mix, no matter if your offense doesn't punish you. If you're not high in turnovers and mistakes and penalties, if your offense is just sort of humdrum and you have an elite defense, you're in the mix. It's when you have an elite defense and your offense is punishing you along the way uh, that gets you in trouble. So I think if you're elite on one side of the ball or the other, you're in the playoff conversation, unless the other side of the ball is crushing you along the way. And I again, we don't know anything because I haven't played a regular season game, but I'm just judging by how I've seen teams come through training camp or in the preseason over the decades, and this is one of the better defenses I've seen exit a training camp or a preseason.
Jeff, what you were out there at practice today? What'd you see from Bo Nix in the offense?
Yeah, I mean it's the same. A lot of the same things. They occasionally move the ball. I mean, but I thought today, at least in some of the team periods, Bo was on the run quite a bit against the number one defense. And again, it's one of those things. Are we judging the offense too harshly, or are we not giving the defense enough credit? I don't think we know officially yet, but just more of the same. The offense has its moments, but they have yet to have as consistent a run practice after practice as the defense has.
That's pretty much exactly what I said, for the record.
It feels like the one position on the team that we may see somebody added after the cuts happen might be a fullback or a tight end fullback sort of guy. I think they really like Nate Atkins, and I think they like what Atkins brings to the table, but he's not going to be available for a few weeks. Am I reading that room right there, Jeff? Is that the one position that we may see a new guy come here from off the street?
Yeah, especially if Burton isn't going to be ready with a hamstring injury. I think that influences the clock. Anyone doing roster projections, with the people that are on the roster right now, you go with Burton in the fullback spot because he might be ready. But yeah, I asked him yesterday straight up.
Yeah.
That a position you want squared away by the regular season, and they do. So I think that is one spot where they'd be looking at the waiver wire to see what's out there. And, does that mean they only keep 3 tight ends initially? 2? I think that's all a possibility. But when Atkins is ready, I'm assuming right now he comes right back to the roster, and then that's yet another change a few weeks down the road.
Does that possibly open the door for Taysom Hill?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that. I mean, anything's possible with him, Sean Payton. I mean, I don't think he ever clears, anything off the table right away without talking about it. But if you've played for him, it's always going to be a possibility. Yes, but is that a fit for this team right now? I can't see him taking Bo Nix off the field to give Taysom Hill some, wacky quarterback snaps or anything like that. So, but yeah, if you played for him, it's a possibility.
Hey, Jeff, give me your running backs room.
I think Bidet gets the 4th spot. I think right now, if I'm just judging by how they're doing the groupings and the walkthroughs and practice, that's kind of how I see it now. Could that change? Yeah, I think Jaleel, in my mind, has had a little safer of a spot than some people think, but maybe that's just me. But that's
well. Hold on. When you say 4th spot, are you including the fullback or not?
No, I think 4 running backs and a fullback is what he'd like to have,
So you got
on the
Jaleel. You got
roster.
Jaleel ahead of.
Well-
You got McLaughlin ahead of Bidet.
I do, because he does more.
Okay.
I watch how they group players. I watch what they use them in, what groupings they use them in, what parts of the playbook they're using them. I mean, Bidet has only made an appearance sort of in the 2-minute stuff recently, and Jaleel's in a lot more of the third down hybrid stuff than anybody else is, frankly.
Well, that actually kind of leads into my next question anyways, because I was going to ask you about wide receivers. If you're going to carry 4 running backs, you might have to make a tough decision somewhere else. We got 6 wide receivers that deserve to be on this team. There's no question about it. But you look at what's going on across the league, and now's the time. You're seeing all these back-end trades of guys that were going to get cut or whatever, 6th-round swap, 7th-round swap. Any chance that there's a surprise wide receiver trade off this team because they got to make a tough decision because they want a 4th running back, for example?
Yeah, I think when I did it for us at ESPN, when I turned mine in, I had the 4 running backs and the 6 receivers make it. And I think there's a scenario where you could do that and still keep, the traditional 25 on offense, 25 on defense, 3 on special teams. So I think 6 receivers make it. I don't think they have any interest in going lower than that unless they get pushed in some way, or they want to, one of their younger players, they're nervous about trying to sneak through waivers. But I think the 6 have earned it clearly, and a couple of those undrafted guys are intriguing prospects, and that's where the question is. Like last year when they kept Frank Crum, the tackle, that was a bit of a surprise. Or Blake Watson, they kept when they went to the 53 because they believed they would not get through waivers, either one of them. So I think unless there's a scenario like that, I think the 6 wide receivers make it.
I was going to ask you, is there any surprise from the people you're talking about of Franklin and his emergence in this training camp?
No, that's been their hope, Scotty. I mean, they had a couple of advocates in the draft room, including the head coach, who very much wanted Franklin to come off the board as soon as possible on that day. That was like the one guy they wanted to have when that day of the draft started. So he's looked good. Yes. I think the only question he has left to answer is he ready for the part of the game that frustrated him last year, which was when DBs put their hands on him at the line of scrimmage and wouldn't give him his release. And that really frustrated him and limited his output. He's done better with that in camp, but they don't do a lot of it in camp. That's just not how you're going at it all the time. And he always hasn't created separation in the rare instances they've actually done that in camp. And that's the only question for me that remains. Otherwise, he's had one of the better camps of anybody across the roster.
Anybody fighting for – is there any competitions at any position on the line where the game will matter on Saturday? At anywhere?
Yeah, Dmac, I think those last 3-4 spots on the roster, the special teams coaches are going to have a lot to say. And those are guys you can have an impact in this last game and, give that one – the last minute of a round in a boxing match, so to speak. You give them that last look of something really good, and you could find your way on the roster. And I don't think the traditional depth chart, offense and defense positions. I don't think there are many of those sort of still in the balance.
Hey, really quick,
frankly.
is PJ Locke good or not?
I think so. Again, I judge by how they're running the groupings and how they are lining players up. But, yeah, I think 5 corners, 5 safeties is where it goes right now